life is definitely much more boring when Arsenal are not playing. Despite obviously them not winning in 4 games and losing 3 in a row, it's still a big shame when they're not playing, and this weekend they haven't been playing. We have to wait till Crystal Palace next weekend. With some people thinking we're in crisis, but we're definitely on bad form, I want to give some examples or some reasons that I think that could help the team right now without spending money in this window, because it's looking more likely that we're not going to. And there's one player that I think can really offer something different that could help us in the future that we have right now. So let's get into it. So I think overall Arsenal have a lot of problems, mostly going forward. Obviously there's that issue of defending from corners, but no one's going to help you do that. We just got to learn that over time. And I think overall the defence is pretty solid. Of course there is concerns about the left back with Zinchenko, but with Timber coming back hopefully shortly in the next few months, hopefully we get that position back and Tomiyasu back after the Asian Cup. And while I think this is a very specific situation, I do think a player like Fabio Vieira can make a real big difference to Arsenal this year when coming off the bench after he comes back from his injury, which is looking more likely now he's in full training. Now the first video I ever did was actually why Arsenal signed Fabio Vieira, because it came out of nowhere, and overall I think he was a very good signing for the future, and I do think he has a lot of potential. I know he hasn't necessarily reached that and he's got some physicality issues, but I do think you are starting to see that. I think when he comes back from injury we should really consider playing him in some of these home games where Arsenal are getting a lot of the pressure and not taking their chances in maybe that left centre mid role. Now I know it might be similar to Jota, who's not very good there, but Fabio Vieira is actually more of a natural creator than anyone in our team. His statistics in Porto and for his career have been way better than any player, even like Odegaard. Now I don't think he has the leadership qualities and realistically the discipline to play where Odegaard plays consistently, and he definitely could get some game time there. I'd like to see him in that left centre mid role in the future in our next few games, maybe coming off the bench. This is more so that we can offer something different if we are struggling to score against Crystal Palace and Nottingham Forest, who we play soon. And I think Fabio Vieira, who has played in that position a few times, I think he's not been given the right opportunity. I think he's been played in games where it doesn't really suit his style, and Arsenal need to have the ball a lot more for him to be able to use it. I know a lot of people like to hate on him and don't think he's good enough, and I don't think he's shown us enough yet, but I do think there's definitely a lot there still. He's very good at running at players, he's shown that. He's very good at crossing ability and getting in the ball into that front post around the left or right side. He's been very good at it throughout his career. And I think finally, if you try and work with Martinelli and get more space out on that left side, I think you'll see the real key moments, because them two together can really be good, and they've barely been really played together because most likely one plays when the other one's injured sort of thing. And when Vieira has started, usually Trossard has been in there. He's also shown that he is very good on that left side, providing passes in between the defenders, very much what Odegaard did when Arsenal had a bit more less pressure and could actually counter on teams, and now he struggles to, but he can still do that brilliant through ball. Vieira, honestly, through his career, has shown he can do this very well. He's very good at having the weight of pass to go long or high or short or low, often to an oncoming winger like Martinelli. This would be brilliant for. This will also give Arsenal more pressure on that left side, so it's a bit more sporadic of where they're going to attack, where it's not just going to be like, well, they're going to go down the right side and double up on their man and try and get help. It also gives Martinelli a lot of help in a 2v2 situation to make it man have a more numbers. Vieira is a brilliant dribbler and can help him get up the pitch. And while other games should probably rather have Jorginho in there for more sustained possession to also help the ball and help Jorginho and Rice in that double pivot, I think in some games where Arsenal are going to dominate at home, it might be worthy trying to risk this by hoping that he will create a lot of chances on that left side. Fabio Vieira also is someone that would likely overlap. He's shown a lot that he likes overlapping with Martinelli, and we'll actually give him that help. This gives another runner for Martinelli and not leave him usually have to do everything down that side. As Zinchenko inverts in the middle and he doesn't really get much help. And I think the real main issue with Fabio Vieira at Arsenal has been confidence, and he started to show a bit more confidence this season before he picked up that injury, despite him still not getting a lot of game time, which is probably respected because he hasn't really played that well. But I personally think Fabio Vieira has a bit more to offer than someone like Emile Smith-Rowe in this team, as he has a better passing network and he's been better at putting balls in behind, and I think that's what we need right now. This does mean in some physicality perspectives we will be lower again. We won't have Havertz in there for his duels unless you play Havertz up front, which is still an option because I'm not sure about Jesus' fitness and form going into this. But I wouldn't necessarily do this to start the game off. Arsenal need to sustain possession, and especially against Crystal Palace next week, we need to keep it calm. If we go up early, then you don't need to worry about this, and hopefully we can continue to win the game. But if we're struggling later on we need to score goals, then I think Vieira offers something different, and it's not just the same sub that Arteta likes to do. And although Arsenal have moved to a more duel-based heavy thing, which he's never really been Vieira's game, he's more of someone that knows he's not going to win duels, so what he does is he anticipates an awareness to try and keep the ball going quite quickly. This is something I also quite like about him and think it might help us right now. Arsenal are notoriously quite slow at going forward. We have been quite slow all season. We're like the second or third slowest team in the league, and this is not helping us create attacks. This is allowing the defense of other teams to get back quicker, and sometimes I feel like we need to change it up and be a bit more quicker and wait for the other team to have the ball so we can counter on them. Vieira is someone that's very good at just helping the ball along and keeping it, making it go quicker. He's very good at running with the ball and looking for runners and making that run himself, and I think this could help help us on the break and could help us in situations to get up the pitch quicker. This also means I'd rather Vieira a bit more elevated than Odegaard. I don't mind Odegaard being in that bit of an 8 role where he does some of the tackles and he gets back, because he does actually do it a lot more than people give him credit for, and he's very good at keeping the ball in our own half and making sure that he doesn't get tackled. He's very good at staying in possession with Rice, and I trust them two back there to do that. So I think if they can build the ball up themselves and maybe Odegaard carries it a bit forward, having Vieira in an elevated position might be very useful. Vieira's also got very good long pass and he's very good at finding runners, so trying to get Vieira in space would be very vital to this to work. And the reason why Vieira has a natural chance creation that is way higher than anyone else has, even Odegaard, is because he's not afraid to do the hard things. He's very good at long passing and very good at crossing, which I don't think anyone on our team really is. Odegaard, if you've seen, does do them cross-field balls sometimes, and they are very good when he does them, but he often doesn't really want to do them and often will go in for the shot or other thing. Now, this is fine when you're scoring all the time, but he simply isn't doing that this year compared to last year, so we can't really keep relying on him to give up good opportunities by just shooting. He needs to be crossing it into the back post a lot more as we have runners there, and I know Saka's been good at doing that, but we also need that by Odegaard. But this is something Vieira is very good at as well, so I wouldn't even be ashamed if Vieira came on for Odegaard in that position. I get Odegaard's on there as also he is the captain, he leads by example, we need him for some of the mentality beasts that we need, but sometimes I feel like Vieira could offer something different. He runs in between the lines and he was not afraid to put a ball in the middle when we need to, and often will look up to make sure if anyone's in there. I know I'm expecting a lot from Vieira and we simply haven't seen it, but there's a lot to his game. He really can be a great player, and I think when Arsenal signed him, they actually likened him to someone like Kevin De Bruyne. I know people might laugh at that because he hasn't proved it, but in a character trait-wise, he is quite a similar player. His weight of pass, how he runs with the ball, and how he uses the players to go off the in between the lines. He's a very unique player for Arsenal. I don't think anyone on our squad is really like that. So I think when he comes back to injury and he gets into the squad, I feel like it's a big boost for the team, and I think he will really show his quality, because I think he was at the start of this season despite being on and off, and I think when Arsenal have the pressure that they have now in games, I think that it will definitely benefit someone like Vieira, although he definitely needs his confidence to be back, because that's one of the major things about his game. Overall, I don't think Arsenal are in a crisis. I don't think it's too bad, but obviously there is poor situations. Obviously we need to bring more players in the summer and sort the squad out, because there's definitely some glaring issues. I am concerned about the goal scoring because I feel like we just don't take our chances, but we still have been creating a lot. But realistically, you want to get Saka and Martinelli into elevated positions where they can take men on one-on-one and get into the boxes, specifically with Martinelli, who is a very good shooter when he gets the chances. And I feel like with Vieira, that maybe counters that a little bit and gives them an opportunity. More so Martinelli, because I think he'd work better on that left side when we're pristine possession, but maybe coming in for Odegaard, he could help with that Saka down that right. But I don't really like Odegaard coming with Saka to help, because I think it causes more issues. Let me know what you think about Arsenal's squad. Who do you think is right for the team? Who do you think could give us something different that we're not got right now? And do you think Fabio Vieira could be a good player or could be a good option for the future for Arsenal? Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate your time. If you like this video, please go and watch my video where I talk about Arsenal not needing a new striker in January, I will say. And if you enjoyed that, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.